Now, guys, I'm delighted to say that I'm joined by 2019 winner of the Jabra Ladies Open European Tour Professional, Annabelle Dimmock. Annabelle, how are you?
Thanks for having me. My God, it seems a long time ago, 2019. Now, do you know what? The LET just posted a picture of it. I looked at it and
I
thought,
saw that, yeah.
oh my gosh, I look like a baby, don't I? It's mad.
4 years ago, to be
4
fair.
years ago. It was a long time.
We all looked a lot younger.
To be honest with you, technically it's only 2 though, because 2 years of COVID didn't count, did it?
Okay.
So it's actually only 2 years ago when you think about it.
I wish that was the case. I wouldn't be 30, so I'd be 20,
Right.
28. I'd
You're
love
still in
that.
your 20s, don't
Yeah,
worry.
very
Don't
good.
worry.
How are you? How's this week been for you?
Yeah, good. It's the first time I've come out this season and I'm actually hitting it good on the range, which
Very
is
good.
nice. The first couple of events, I don't know where my swing was. I obviously did some changes and stuff of my swing Christmas time, but they
Okay.
just hadn't really knitted. I hadn't really 100% got them. That's the thing in your head. When you go out and play and you don't quite understand why or what exactly you're doing, it's so hard to play with it on the course. But I understand it now, and the 7 weeks breaks has actually done me well because
That's
I've
good.
gone home and sort of given me a bit of a kick up the bum, to be honest
Yeah.
with you. So
not,
that's good.
Not knowing what your swing is doing is describing every amateur
Oh,
golfer in
I
the
know.
world.
Oh, it's a nightmare. I don't know why any of you play. It's
I step
horrible.
up on the
horrible
tee and
feeling.
never know what I'm doing.
No,
so.
I know, but that is why we love the game, hey?
So how has the season been? I guess before we get into that, what were the changes that you were working on from December onwards?
Basically, I was just getting too much shaft lean
Okay.
through the ball. I was kind of sort of pushing it towards my target instead of coming down. I'm trying to get back to my impact positions. It was like a bang, and then I go.
Okay.
So it kind of, in short term, it kind of messed with my rhythm a
Sure.
bit, because it was a little bit chasey, sort of guidey towards my target. So we've got me in a good position at the top. I tried to shorten my backswing down slightly because I find like in my seasons before I'd have good weeks and then my swing would go off a bit. But so we tried to shorten down my backswing, so less sort of wrist hinge, less to go wrong basically, and then just trying to return back to almost my setup position where the shaft was getting very in front of me.
Okay.
Which then when you push that away from you, it makes your body go under. So I was getting stuck underneath a lot of my drive. So we sorted that out, but we were doing.
So were you
It's-
missing it off, kind of pushing them out to the right? Then that was the miss.
Yeah, but then say if I'm trying to save it, then it's
Getting
left.
handsy, yeah.
So then that's it exactly. You go underneath and get handsy, which is a very, very common thing to get stuck
Yeah.
under the shot.
If you
but
figured that out, let me know how you do
Yeah,
it.
no, I know,
Thanks,
I know.
appreciate that.
Hopefully, we'll see how this week goes. If it's a top 10, you can come to me and I can start telling you how I know this and that. But I mean, the next week I'm sure I'll be clueless again. But yeah, just been working on my swing, and you know, it's nice here, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
unbelievable golf course, really.
So let's chat through the first 4 events. So 4 events,
Yep.
4 cuts made.
Yeah.
I'd say you'd probably admit kind of average enough results.
At
for
the end of the
yourself.
day, I'm not out here to make cuts.
Yeah.
Making a cut, you know, I'd rather miss a cut.
Really?
And yeah, I'd rather
Well,
miss a
no.
cut and have a very good week than, because I feel you learn more when you miss a cut and then you've got a good week. Especially how the points work on the LET. It's very, if you're just making cuts, there's no points,
Sure,
not
yeah.
much money really. You're still not really coming out with much profit that week, which is tough. Especially when you're paying your caddy fees, you're paying this, you're paying that. It's a lot. And obviously since COVID, flights have gone, I swear everything's 10
It's got
times
a lot
more
more
expensive.
expensive, yeah,
What
it
is
really
going
has.
on? What is going on, honestly? But not bad start, really. Not an awful start, but definitely not what I wanted. You know, it's Solheim year this year, and I did want to come out of the blocks really fast.
Sure.
And put myself on the map as someone, you know,
Okay.
that could be getting a captain's pick on form and things like that. But you never know. You never know. And I'm not going to rule myself completely out because that would be really upsetting for me. But
There's still lots of time between now
there
and
is
Solheim.
time, but I need to play very, very well. But, you know, I feel good. I feel like I'm good enough to do that. I just need to get on the course and do what I can do in practice, you know?
Yeah.
When I'm playing at home, I'm always playing well and this and that because I'm relaxed. For me, it's more of a mental thing with my swing, like trusting myself. I've run into good form now and again on tour, but I haven't really had a spell where I've had a season where I've, you know, been in good form.
Sure.
And that's tough. You know, I'm one of them players I feel like everyone says, oh, you know, good talent, but that's tough to hear when you're not performing. It's actually
Sure.
more frustrating, and it's more of, it can be, it depends how you channel it, you know. walking into a tournament, I do always feel like there's a lot of pressure because I feel like I've never reached my potential, and I'm 26 now. So, you know,
all right, you're not really getting
no,
over a hill or anything.
look, with you next to
26,
me here, I'm not
like,
going to be saying anything else.
Jesus.
But I tell you what, some of the rookies coming on tour, they're young. They are really
They are
young.
very young.
So, and it's not, you know, I want to get on the LPGA, but to get on the LPGA, I need to sort of do very well on the LET first. I know I've won before and stuff like that, but you need to get a couple of wins under your belt. And there's
Sure.
good chances this year. There's a lot of events, so we can get on a roll
Yeah.
for the first time. And, you know, last year was good as well. But when I first came on tour, there wasn't enough events really to start getting on a roll and stuff
Sure.
like that. So fingers crossed now for this, you know, this next bit of the season. It feels like it's the start of the season again because we've
Yeah.
had such a long layover. But yeah.
So how are you taking that? So you're talking about kind of like the pressure of like performance. How are you taking? Well,
There we go. Someone's dropped the knife and forks.
How are you taking that pressure? You're talking about the pressure of performance. How are you taking that into this week? How are you channeling that? You said it's all kind of down to how you channel it. So how are you?
It's got to the point where I'm going out there and I'm playing for me.
Sure.
When I first came on tour, it was wow. You know, I want to make my dad proud. I want to prove this person wrong or this person right, and you know, everyone around me saying I'm good or people were saying this or that. But I'm going out there and I'm doing it for me now.
Okay.
Instead of, and I'm trying not to care about anything else. You know, especially in the world we live in now, you got social media. God, it's like
a lot of opinions.
literally like this, isn't it? But you just need to narrow it down, and it's at the end of the day, no one really cares anyway.
Yeah.
If you have a good week or a bad week, yeah, you get a bit of a fuss, but it dies down. If you have a bad week, yeah, people look and think, oh God, what happened there? But no one really cares. And that's kind of what I've learned as I've got older. Everyone's very sad, and they should be. It's their life, you know? So that's kind of, I try not to really think about all these other opinions and other voices and thinking, oh, I should be doing this or doing that. I'm just getting out there and just trying to hit good shots for me, trying to put good swings on it that I've worked hard doing. So there's no point in putting all the hours in.
Yeah.
If you can't stand on the course and do the same swing that you're doing on the practice round. There is no point.
Yeah. So this is a course you know very well. Obviously, you won here in 2019. We've just played 2 practice rounds now the last few days. Do you draw on memories of that? Because again, the following tournament, you lost out just to Pia Babnik in a playoff. So you've performed well here.
Yeah, I have.
Do you
It's
draw on
strange.
those
I don't
experiences?
understand why. What about this course does that? But the only thing I can think of is the fact that I was drawing on the good shots, and I was coming here, and it was a tournament that I was feeling comfortable at, and I was playing how I can play here.
Okay.
I will be drawing on good shots, for sure. You know, it was a long time ago, but I remember when I lost in the playoff, I was definitely drawing on good shots that year because it was the year after.
Yeah.
You know, so they were very fresh. Whereas now, hopefully, I'll be creating new good shots to remember. But it's more, instead of the individual shots, it's more the feeling that I had when I was here. You know, when you think about it, it's 130 players. You are the best one that week. It's quite cool. Do you know what I mean?
It's a great experience.
Professional, obviously, everyone's good players. And you beat them all. It's quite nice.
So
when you think about it, do you know what I mean? It's funny, really, but shame you can't do it more often.
Well, I mean, like, there's no time like
Like
this
the present.
week,
No,
you know?
exactly. The course is playing slightly different, but I know this course very, very well. You know, the greens are very slopey. But do you know what? Why I do think I did quite well here is very similar to like the West course at Wentworth, where say there's pins, you can, instead of going and taking all the risk, you can actually use the slopes around it. And I'm quite good at working a ball or definitely a draw. I can definitely work a draw good, and I can spin it left and I can spin it right.
Okay.
So say if you're hitting into a slope, instead of having to go at the pin, if you know that you can spin a ball left, it helps a lot. Yeah,
for sure.
Because if it's landing on the green, it's doing the right thing. If it's landing in the rough, it's not spinning. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. It makes a lot of sense. So has that been something that you've been working on for the last 2 days? Like, these greens they're huge. Firstly, some of them.
Some of them are.
We're looking at.
Yeah, the ones that you don't need to be huge are huge, and the ones that you want to be huge, they look like a fingernail. But the par 3s are tough here.
They're long.
They are long, but like visually as well, they're tough from the tees. So you just need to mentally get around that and just stand there and just hit your shot that you're trying to hit. You know, discuss it with your caddy and just stand there and just hit it where you're trying to hit it and not think about all the rubbish around it.
Yeah.
That's the key, is taking advantage of the par fives here and then not getting mentally disturbed by, you know, the visuals on the par threes.
So let's look back towards, if we could, the Women's Irish Open last year. We're not going to kind of jump all over the place.
Yeah, that's fine.
You got off to a very, very good start. You were leading off like with 2 eagles or something like that in the opening round.
It was the weirdest first round because I remember my first shot, I hit so far right in the water. Like it didn't even just go in the water. Like it was in, if I don't know if people know that course. I don't know if it was a 10th or the first.
10th. If there's water, there's 10th.
Yeah, well, you know that water on the right?
Yeah.
I didn't just hit it in the water. Like I had to reload from the tee. It went
super.
I don't know what happened. But then I think, do you know what really happened there is it kind of relaxed me.
Sure.
I was like, oh, like, screw it. Do you know what I mean? I'll just play now. And then I got to the third hole and I holed out from the fairway. And I was like, okay, like, this could be, like, do you know what I mean? This could be one of them weird rounds that... And then I actually played really, really well from then on in. And, oh, that was gutting. I would have loved to get in that playoff in Ireland, especially in front of them fans. They were great to me that week.
We'll get to that for sure. But you had your dad in the bag.
Yeah.
And I remember you did a post-round interview and you were chatting about how lovely it is to have him on the bag. Is he with you often, or because he's a big
not
part
really.
of how you got into golf?
He is, and my dad is literally like my best friend. But he works.
Like that would get in the
way.
He
works, yeah, and I don't think my mum would be very happy if he give up his job and he come caddy. I'm sure he would be very happy to do that. He loves it. Yeah. He loves it. You know, when I'm at home weekends, there's always a message on Friday. Practicing this weekend. Yep, Dad, you're coming down. We'll meet here. Do you know what I mean? He loves it. Even if he's just standing there, picking my balls up, firing them down the range, like he loves trying to help me, you know. And he has done since I was bloody 8 years old. Well, the whole of my life, not just about golf, is it? But I would love my dad to be with me every week. He's not a caddy. He's just bless him. He's just there, a little plodder along. Do you know what I mean? So sometimes when I get in situations, not often, but I will need an actual second opinion. You know, my dad can't even see the ball. He only knows it's a good shot from my reaction, but he's obviously learnt over the years what sort of reaction, whether I like it, whether he comes up quick or not.
Sure.
And normally from my swing, he can tell which way it's going. Okay. You know, if I get stuck underneath it, he thinks, oh, that's obviously not good. So he knows all about my swing faults and, you know, what my tendencies are. So he knows my game extremely, extremely well. So when I'm struggling, it's great to have him out there just support. But I would love to have him with me every week. Yeah. Just, you know, he's so calm, my dad. My mum and dad are bipolars. My mum is nuts, and I think I'm somewhere in the middle. My dad is very, very calm. But yeah, that was great memories in Ireland when he was on the bag. He loved that week as well. I'm actually going to get my mum. My mum's Irish, isn't she? So I'm going to get her to come out this year, and she'll love talking to all the fans. And, you know,
it'll be a proper family affair this year.
God,
is your dad coming on the bag?
It'll be a family affair. I think Dad will probably. I might
have to be.
He's going to have to be. He's going to have to be there in general. But I do have a full-time caddy now, which I didn't then. But he will 100% be there.
Sure.
Bless him. But yeah.
So talking to that a week. First round was super really good. Second round, I followed you for a few holes in that round.
I think I struggled that round.
It felt like it was a stop-start type of round where
I think I couldn't get anything
didn't go your way. Yeah,
I couldn't get anything going. It's a weird. You have rounds like that in a tournament, but what I did is I obviously held it together quite well.
Yeah,
I think I got up and down a couple of times, and it was just one of them rounds I couldn't get anything going. But that's when you need to ride them rounds out. You know, it's a 4-day tournament.
I was going to say,
everyone's going to have that.
When you follow up a round where you go into the water off the tee.
Yeah.
But you have such a positive round. What do you do after the second round when you follow it up to, you know, get yourself back?
Joe, it's funny. I probably played better the second round, but it was just one of them rounds where I couldn't get anything going. But I don't mind having them rounds where it was a bit of a grind and you get a score out, because you can come back, correct the things, and, you know, if you scored okay and you hung yourself in there, and normally in a 4-day tournament you're always going to have one round where it's not going your way and it's not easy, because that's just golf. So I think what it was is I had one of them rounds and I didn't knock myself out of it, and that's why I probably had a good week. Whereas normally in other weeks I have a round like that and I just don't get anything out of it.
We call it stop start. I think you shot maybe even or one.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not like it was.
No, but that's what I'm saying. But I probably didn't play that well. But if you can get a couple of up and downs, do you know what I mean? That saves you a couple of shots and things like that. Whereas my short game, I've worked on it hard the last 7 weeks, but it's never my strong point. So if I wasn't hitting it 100% on the course, normally that would be my bad round, because I never had a short game then to back it up. Well, I hadn't in the last season. I didn't, but I worked hard on that. Just to let you all know.
All right, we'll
see.
We'll get on to that.
No pressure now.
Yeah. You spoke about how good the fans were at that event, and honestly, how tough it looked for you not make that playoff.
Oh,
like
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah,
I could not believe it. And the worst thing is one of my a close family friend, a guy, Sam Torrance. He's
bit of a name drop.
Yeah, sorry, I'll pick that one up later. He messaged me and said a lot of the girls, I can't remember if I missed it on the left, I think, or the right. He said everyone missed that putt. It was a weird... When I hit it...
On 18.
When I hit it on 18, I remember I said to myself, all you need to do is keep your head down. All you need to do... I was putting well. I felt good holing out. There was nothing wrong with the stroke. It was just a misread. But that is, I don't know where... If I had a caddy... To be honest with you, I can't say that because I read and putted great that week. That's stupid of me saying that. But, it's just one of them things, isn't it?
Yeah.
Gutted. Could you imagine if I won in Ireland? Oh, my gosh. I wouldn't have come home for a night out for about 2 weeks.
You would have been like Shane Lowry.
100%.
Doing a tour of the country.
I would have been doing a tour of Ireland. I would have been doing a tour of England, Scotland, Wales, everywhere.
It would have been a brilliant win.
Oh, wouldn't it?
It was a great event. So I imagine we're going to see you back there now this year.
Yeah. I know, I'm looking forward to going back this year. It was a great event, wasn't it?
It was really good. Fans were super.
It was unbelievable. The amount of people that came out was amazing. And I thought, wow, that's what actually lifts me at a tournament. It's funny, I always do better at tournaments like that because when the fans are, I don't know, you just want to give them something to watch and something to clap about and cheer about. And I think that's what spurred me on that week. And the Irish fans were so lovely to me. I don't know why. But, oh, my God, I love them. And I feel like that did help me that week. You know, I opened up a bit about mental health and I was coming back then. I was still struggling. I was in the clear then, but I was still, you know, I'd just come out of being not very mentally well and things like that. And I just feel like the fans really lifted me that week and it really actually helped because from there, I always find as well, when you speak about something, you out yourself about something, it's quite powerful.
Well, yeah, you were very vulnerable in that post-round interview.
That's what I mean. I do find when you're vulnerable, you get stronger from it after. It's very, very odd. And from that Irish Open, I was gutted on the plane home. Trust me and my dad. Oh, I think my dad was close to tears, to be honest with you. But I was gutted, but it was a week that really lifted me.
Sure. Really
lifted me with the fans and everyone, you know.
Because up until about a month or so before that, so you were talking about, obviously you'd had your struggles.
Yeah.
That had kind of manifested on course with some of the results. You'd missed a good few cuts, so form was slow.
Missing cuts by miles.
But golf clearly wasn't a priority at that point.
Yeah, and do you know what? Golf wasn't the problem. And my golf wasn't bad. It was just, I don't know what. It's hard to explain. It's hard to put your finger on it now. And I talk about it now very openly because I can now. Do you know what I mean? But at the time, I didn't even understand it all myself. But, you know, when people come, I want people to be able to come and speak to me about it because obviously once you get through that, you could help. If I could help anyone, I'd love to do that because at that point, I had a lot of people helping me and I'm forever thankful for that.
So how are you now?
Yeah, good. Life's good.
Yeah.
I've got a new boyfriend.
Very good.
He's lovely. He's just got into golf, actually. It's funny. I remember the first time I went out with him, he was saying, you know, I was talking about golf, this and that. Oh, I could never play golf. I hate that game. I'm like, it's not even a sport. I swear to God, it is. He is so addicted to it. He's gone and given himself a tennis elbow already from it.
Already? Wow.
Already.
Good man.
Already. Honestly, it's ridiculous. It's winding me up, to be honest with you, because I'm like, where are you? Do you know what I mean? Time's of the essence. When I'm at home, I want to spend time with him. And he's down the driving range. I think this is liberties, this. Wish I'd never told him about golf. But it will get you, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Well, it could be like my wife who just wants nothing to do with golf.
Really? Oh, see, I'm starting to think I wish for that now. When it's the other way around I thought, I wish he was into it a bit so I could actually have a conversation. Now, I can't get away from it. All he wants to do is he's asking me questions about this, questions about that. Has
he got a handicap or anything?
Not yet. He is trying, though. He told me last night that he's downloaded the England golf app, is it?
Very good, right.
Because he's asking me, how do I get a handicap? I'm like, I don't know. I've been out of the loop for a long time.
You haven't had a handicap for like 12 years.
No, I haven't. It's weird. Handicap. But I think he's downloaded the England app and he's entered his first tournament in June.
Wow.
So, my goodness. I swear to God, if he asked me to caddy in that,
Oh, you should.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because he'd be expecting me to caddy. Could you imagine, though? Rocking up.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, but no pressure. Do you know what I mean? I'm rocking up as your caddy. I don't know if I do that. I don't know if he's ready. I need to come out when I know he's not going to go and have a proper chop.
It's also, again, no offense to your boyfriend, but yeah, it's very different caddying for someone who can consistently hit a golf ball.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah. I mean, how can you really caddy for someone if they're topping it? Do you know what I mean? What you got to do? We'll try and hit the bottom of the ball on this one. Do you know what I'm saying?
You got 155 in, pitch tucked, 7 yards off the left, tops it. Yeah, okay, same again.
Oh, he'd probably try and blame me, say it was a bad club or something. That's what he'd do.
So you're saying your boyfriend he's into golf now as well.
Yeah.
What do you do away from golf to chill? Because you're saying you don't get a huge amount of downtime. Obviously, there's a lot of travel.
Yeah.
Golf is pretty all in, like encompassing.
Yeah. Do you know what? I keep myself busy. I keep myself very busy. Nice dinners. I do like good food. Bit of good food is, it can make any problem go away. But Charlie's moved next to me. Charlie Hull. Yeah, so we're neighbours. She's actually, she's actually in my flat right now, cleaning.
Stop, really?
Yeah.
That's a good friend.
Yeah.
That's a very good friend.
Yeah, but I do the same for her. Do you know what I mean? Every day. Well, I don't know. Get someone else to do it. But every day when I'm away, she's got a new delivery.
Okay, wow.
So, which I have to, put in her flat and do her bloody alarm, which gives me anxiety every time. But it's good. I pop round her house most days.
Yeah.
So I keep myself busy. I've got loads of friends. It's 100 mile an hour when I'm at home as well. It's fine. Do you know what I mean? You get used to 100 mile an hour because it's like that on tour.
Yeah.
I actually rest a lot more on tour than I do at home, I think.
Sure.
Because at home, it's, there's always things coming up to do.
Yeah,
you always think, a week off, lovely, put the feet up. It's never like that. Here, there, everywhere. And then obviously my coach is in Somerset. So, which is good. My boyfriend, Alfie, always drives me down, bless him, or my dad. Because it's nothing worse than doing a 2-hour drive, getting out and trying to do a lesson. Oh, look, a bird's come to join us. Hopefully that's a sign of plenty of birdies this week.
Okay.
Fingers crossed.
I'll take that.
Yeah, exactly. I'll take that.
Random superstition, but okay.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I do have really loads of superstitions.
Okay, well now we're going to diverge into that.
No.
Go on.
Honestly,
what are
walking around London with the superstition of walking over 3 drains is really stressful because if it gets busy, oh my God, it's so stressful. And then if you see a 2 drain, you've got to run over to the 2 drain because they're good luck. And then if a black cat, if you're driving, there's these black cats near mum and dad's house. Why I hate going there because they always run out in front of me, and that's bad luck if a black cat runs out in front of you, isn't it?
Apparently, yeah.
Oh, I always think, that's a miscut then next week.
Jeez, you wouldn't want to be superstitious as a golfer.
No, oh my God, with golf, it's the worst. It is the worst, but yeah. Apart from that, there's no other ones really.
So I saw you out in the short game area. You said you've been working on your short game, your chipping. I saw at one point occasionally you switch to left-hand low. Is that just a drill, or have you been taking that out on the course?
I've been taking that on the course.
Is that new?
It is new, yeah. It's a newbie. I was really struggling.
What is that?
I was doing it as a drill, and then I chipped so much better like it. It's harder when you start getting longer. When you get to like 30-yard chips is when I switch my hands over, because if you start stretching, it's easy to thin it because it's not quite enough speed.
Sure, yeah.
But I was chipping really well doing it in practice, and I thought, screw it. Do you know what I mean? If I'm chipping well like this, is anything on the short chips, the strike you can get going cack-handed is unbelievable. I would honestly, if anyone struggles with their chipping, I couldn't suggest it. Like
you and Matt Fitzpatrick.
I know if it works for him. Look, do you know what I mean? If he's obviously doing something right, and he would work out everything, this and that. He does everything down to a T. I watched that documentary. I couldn't believe he writes down every shot.
He is, yeah.
I didn't realise that.
Would you
I played
be like
England squad with him and stuff like that, and I couldn't believe it. He does come across, obviously, works. You can see he works hard. Obviously, every professional golfer works hard. You wouldn't get there if you didn't. But I didn't realise quite how analytical he was.
The level of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Would you be an analytical golfer or more field-based?
I just don't think it suits me. I'm not one of them players that has all these mad positions, pitching and things like that. I'm good, like I like eyeballing the flag and things like that. I have got rough positions, but nothing too mechanical and robotic. I
was going to say, how detailed is
it's got more details this season, but I've only got 3 different positions with pitching.
Okay.
So I've got a position with which Look, when I say my knees, obviously it's not my knees, but it's my own feel with it. I've got knees, I've got hips, I've got three-quarter, and then I've got full. But I've brought that in this season. Well, actually, in the 7-week gap, I kind of worked on that. My pitching's improved massively in the last couple of months, to be honest with you. It used to be one of the weakest parts of my game, but it's actually one of the strengths now, which is good. That's basically what I tried to do, is turn my weaknesses into my strengths. And it's funny because I was working so hard on my chip and my pitching that then at the start of the season my long game went completely off, which is normally the thing that's pretty solid.
Yeah. So. It's sure golf's funny that way, isn't it?
I know. You're literally chasing your tail all the time, but I mean the best players in the world, they're still working hard on it. Once you cracked it, you can come out the next day and realise you definitely haven't cracked it.
Yeah. So you mentioned obviously Charlie Hull's a good friend of yours, neighbour now as well.
Yeah.
You also spoke about the Solheim Cup coming up this year. Have you spoke to Charlie about, like, you know, she's also played in a few of them. What do you need to do?
Yeah, I haven't actually spoken to Charlie about it much because the way I performed at the start of the year, there was nothing to really say, you know. But I speak to Charlie a lot about my golf.
Sure.
A lot about my golf. You know, it's really funny because anything else, she's messaging me, what do I do here? But anything to do with golf, you know, I go to her and she's extremely, extremely knowledgeable. Sure. Obviously, being in the experiences and the situations that she's been in, she knows a lot. And what's so nice is she understands.
Yeah.
She understands anything that I say to her, she'll understand, especially coming from a girl.
What do you mean by that?
Well, there's different pressures, you know, when you're talking about having boyfriends on tour while you're travelling on tour and family. You know, wanting to have your own family, talking about, you know, what would you think about your plans of this and that. It's different. I think women's professional golf there is a lot of different pressures to guys.
It's a very different timeline.
Yeah, it is.
If you look, you were talking about how young a lot of the girls are on tour. Same thing on the LPGA.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's girls are coming out of, I mean, they're coming out of the blocks at 18 and they're going and winning.
Yeah.
You know, it's unbelievable, really. When you think it takes a lot to win a tournament mentally. Like, you have to be extremely mentally strong to do that. And when these girls are coming out at 18, it blows my mind. But yeah, you say that, but some people don't think about it like that. Maybe they're young and, you know, they're just going and doing it. They've got such high confidence either from college or whatever that they're just coming out and they're not thinking anything of it because they're playing on similar courses in lovely weather, similar greens, you know, and they're just rolling over. But it was never that easy for me, unfortunately. So
we spoke about the Irish Open this year. Are there a couple of other events that you're particularly keeping an eye on or looking forward to? There's obviously the majors. Qualifying for them or getting into those is obviously a big. If I could get in, one of my main things is getting into the British Open because it's at Walton Heath. Yeah. Which is 25 minutes from my house. Not too far I know the course. It would be unbelievable to be able to stay at home and play a tournament. I think that would really, really relax me. And obviously being relaxed, having something that's more relaxing at a major tournament, as it's extremely stressful for everyone. Yeah. Even the people that have gone and won majors, you know, everyone's nervous standing on that tee. Yeah. Majors are a different breed.
Like it's
completely different kind
100%, 100%. So yeah, that's a big goal, to make sure I get into the Open, basically.
Yeah, very good.
Be key, yeah.
Well, listen, thank you very much for having a chat.
No worries at all.
Good luck this week.
Lovely,
good luck this season.
I feel like I'm having a chat, you know.
Well, we can continue if you want.
No, I want to go and get into my bed.
Yeah. Right. Thank you very much.
Cheers. Thanks for having me.
On the tee, Jack Nicklaus.
This is the minute that millions around the world have waited for.
We will allow you to enjoy all of this. They are dancing in the pubs of Dublin. Harrington with an ace.
And we have a shining star at sunset. Rory continues his run to greatness.
The return to glory.